is going on, y'all? It's your girl, CandyC, and you are in the place to be. Welcome back to my story time of basic training. This is episode 2 of me talking about my experiences. And the primary focus of this story time is the moment that I left home and went straight to receptions. So where I left off in the first story time video that you can still check out, I left off with me pretty much arriving to the MEPS area and getting on the bus to go to basic training. Now, this bus doesn't take you straight to basic training. It takes you to where basic training is going to be, but you have to go through reception first, which is day 0. So I'm gonna rewind a little bit, because when I left home, it was the day prior to the day that I got on the bus, and I slept at a hotel, and then they wanted to make sure that you arrive early. So they have you sleep at a hotel, and then you go to reception where your family, not reception, you go to MEPS where your family can meet you and watch you get on the bus. So I get on the bus, I said my, goodbyes to all my family that was there waiting for me, my husband, my children, my sister, my sister's children, my mom. So I said all my goodbyes, and it took everything in me not to cry, y'all. I'm a pretty strong person, but it took everything in me not to cry. Like, I wanted to boo-hoo, but I had to be strong for my children. I wanted my children to know, like, mommy's gonna be okay. Like, this is not the end. But I wanted to be like, oh, baby, I'm gonna miss you. But they feed off of your energy. So, but my middle child, she ain't feed off of my energy. She was not having it, because as soon as I got on the bus, my husband texted me and told me that Courtney just started crying in the car. So I get on the bus, and I'm sitting next to this chick that starts crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, if you cry, I'ma cry. Like, don't do this to me. So she cried for a little bit. I ended up putting my headphones on and turning on some music. And, the ride was about 2.5 hours long. And that whole 2 hours, I was regretting every decision I made. I was wondering if my children were going to be okay. In which, at this point, you got to let go and let God, turning back. But it was still in the back of my mind, like, I hope they're going to be okay. I hope this decision that I made doesn't affect them negatively. And I was just thinking, what am I going to get myself into? Because I watched all the videos. I watched all the YouTube videos that said, once you arrive to basic training, the drill sergeant is going to be in your face, and they're going to be yelling at you, and they're not going to care how you feel, and they're going to be all, up close and personal, spitting on you, degrading you, and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, it's about to go down, y'all. It is about to go down. So we pulled up to reception, and I'm looking out the window. You see everybody lined up. I see people, soldiers on crutches, like trainees on crutches. And I was like, dang, like, what they on crutches for? So now I'm thinking, watch me be the one that hurt myself and end up on crutches. So you're just like pretty much scoping out everything. You're looking at, the people walking by, and you're wondering, what's going to happen. I'm thinking I felt like I was going to jail. So, I have my journal here, because I know that I wrote some stuff. So I wanted to kind of like refer back to it so I don't forget anything. Yeah, I actually started writing the day before I left, when it was my children's first day of school, because they had school the day before I left to go to training. So here it is. Day 0 was the arrival day. When I was at MEPS before I got on the bus, I had to swear in, so that's when I swore in. Oh, I forgot. On the bus, so I was hungry on the bus, wondering what we're gonna eat. And right before we pulled up on post, they took us to Golden Corral for dinner. And that was like around 4 o'clock p.m. They took us to Golden Corral for dinner. And this was a chance to get to know the people that were on the bus with you. Now, it's not guaranteed that you're going to know them later, but you about to meet the people on the bus. So we go to Golden Corral, we sit down, we talking, we eating, and we're just going through, like, you know, everybody's background and why they joined and what do they think is going to happen once we get there. So we're just, like, telling our expectations and stuff like that. So after Golden Corral, we got there. And so the first thing that they did when we got there, which was day 0, is they made you empty everything in your suitcase or whatever you bought with you. You had to empty everything. So I ended up having to throw away my hair gel because it was in an unmarked container. I ended up having to throw any contraband away. So I had candy, I had to throw that away. It was some other stuff I can't remember I had to throw away. So that's when we did paperwork. It says we got our PTs, our workout clothes issued. We got issued socks, gloves, t-shirts, everything you need, we got issued. And they even give you a card with money on it so that we can buy the essentials. So pretty much whatever you bought from home, you don't need, because I literally had a small book bag of stuff. And that was pretty much my clothes from when I was at the hotel the day prior. So they assign you your room, they assign you your bed where you're going to sleep. And let me see what happened after we got our bed. So I was on the top bunk, they're bunk beds. So it was about like 20 bunk beds in one room. And, you know, of course it's separated by male and female. So the male barracks were like all the way on the other side of the, building. And then you had the female barracks. So it was a room of like 20 bunks. And then it was a community shower. So when you go into the bathroom, you have like all the sinks lined up, and then you have all the showers lined up. Some of them showers had shower curtains and some didn't. Okay? If it's my turn to take a shower and there's no shower curtain, I'll wait for the one with the shower curtain. Like, that's how it's gonna be. That was my thought process at the time. So, you know, everybody's putting their stuff in their bunks and, you know, walking around seeing how life is going to be like for the next week or so, because you're there for that 1 week to do all the in-processing stuff, the paperwork, the admin, all that, and then they move you to where you're going to train. So, so they told us that lights out was at 9 p.m. So we had a bedtime, of course, and we had a time where we had to wake up, and lights out was at 9 p.m. and I had no cell phone service. So we were able to have our cell phones at this point. Throughout the whole time of reception, we were able to have our cell phones, but there was no service. So it was almost like pointless. So I would try to, you know, text my husband as much as I can. But there were times that we just had to turn them off or leave them in the barracks room. So, you know, we just went through all the in-processing stuff and did paperwork and got our uniforms issued. And then it was close to bedtime, so we had to shower and stuff like that. Every time when we wake up and go to sleep, you always have to form up in your platoon and get instructions on what was going to happen for that day or the next day. So, I mean, it was cool because it was a different experience and I got to meet a lot of different people. I was cool with my bunkmate. She seemed cool. That first night when it was shower time, oh my goodness. I don't know, like I was just trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to take a shower and be as clean as possible, because I felt like the floors were dirty. You know, we had shower shoes issued to us, but I didn't want to like really touch anything. I didn't want my arms to touch the shower walls. And then I had like my little toiletry bag, but there was nowhere to put my toiletry bag. And it was just like weird. So I get in the shower with a shower curtain, but the shower curtain was like really short. It didn't go all the way over. So, of course I was exposed a little bit, and I was trying to like not be exposed, but I'm like, you know what? I don't even care at this point because we're all females. We all got the same thing, even though mine might be a little smaller than hers, or hers might be a little small. Like, we all got the same thing. So I was trying not to worry about it, but it was still like awkward as I don't know what. So, the first day 0, was pretty chill. Like, it was really chill. And it was pretty much of the drill sergeants letting them know that they're in charge. Showing us where everything was, what to do if you have an issue, some paperwork, a lot of standing up. I was super duper sleepy because we had woke up at I had to wake up at like 5 or 6 a.m. just to get to the place on time from the hotel. And then the bus ride was like 2.5 hours long, in which I couldn't really sleep. And then when we get to the reception, we have to do all this paperwork and standing around and waiting and da-da-da-da. So I was like really, really sleepy. And then they were like, bedtime is at 9, but wake up time is at 06. And it's like, dang, when am I going to get sleep? So, no, actually, we had to wake up at 4 a.m. My bad. We had to wake up at 4 a.m. So bedtime is at 9, and we had to wake up at 4. But of course, when lights go out at 9, you're probably not going to sleep until like 11. So then wake up at 4, 12, 1, 2, that's 5 hours of sleep. So I already knew I was going to be super sleepy because I wanted to make sure that I was able to write down what was going on and write in my journal and things like that. So because everything was so new to me, every time I went to the bathroom, I would text my husband, and then I would go to the bathroom again to see if he responded because the reception was horrible. So he would tell me that, my middle child, Courtney, was taking it the hardest, and she cried for such a long time. And then I would text him about certain experiences I was having, and then he would text me some advice because he went through the same thing. And then he was like, man, just wait until it's time for y'all to get y'all shots. And he was telling me about the peanut butter shot and all this extra stuff. So I was getting like nervous and scared. And I'm like, well, it was some stuff he was telling me, but he gonna wait until I get to reception to tell me. I'm like, bruh, why you didn't tell me this before I left? Or actually, why didn't you tell me this before I signed the contract? Because I probably would have said no just for those simple reasons. So, day 0, we didn't do any PT, or, PT is physical training. We didn't do any PT yet. We didn't really get to experience what it'll be like being a soldier because we were just getting our feet in the door, and we were just getting to know each other, and we were just establishing pretty much ground rules. And you can already tell from jump who the mean drill sergeants were going to be and who the nice drill sergeants were going to be. And there were some people that the drill sergeant had to get up in their face about already because they don't follow simple instructions. Simple instructions. And everybody around me is like in their 20s. I was like the oldest, literally, I was the oldest person there. Everybody would talk about, oh, how old are you? How old are you? And I'd be like, oh, I'm 34. What? You're 34? You look like you're 20. Da, 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 da. So even from the very beginning, people knew how old I was, and they were, I can tell that they respect my age, even with different conversations that they would have around me. It was like, oh, my bad. I didn't mean to like talk like that. I'm like, you good? Like, do what you gotta do. So, being older was definitely recognized, and I can definitely tell the difference from the first day of the respect that I was going to get. The next day, I learned some stuff about myself. I realized that I could do something that I've never done before. But I'm going to have to tell you on the next video, on episode 3. So make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow. Same place, same time, 12 noon. With your girl, CandyC. You don't want to miss this. This is going to be fun. And I will see you then. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
We paper chasing, yeah, we own that. We riding out in